How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed all the time lapses, because it's been so hot that it's really hard to be like, let me just pick up the camera. So that's why you're getting this really late into the game intro. But hopefully the music was good. So let me show you guys what we've gotten done this week. Let's start off with the thing that was the most pressing, which obviously was this brick wall. Everybody was telling me how it's going to collapse, and no. Simply put, because this is good and that is good. We didn't have to touch anything over there. Actually, I did have them do just these two bricks. But the rest of the mortar in this entire wall is good. There's no problems there. But under here is where it was crumbling, and it's because the window was getting all the water and it was funneling down. But this wasn't particularly holding any weight. Also, the way this works is there are 3 rows of bricks. There's the outer brick, the middle, which is this one, and then the inside rung of bricks. So middle, the outer, and then the interior. And so actually you can kind of see all 3 here. You can see the outer rung, inner, or middle, inner. So that's how all that works. This actually wasn't carrying any weight because it's really supposed to be for the sill here, and the sill was supporting its own weight. So, and there wasn't really a window in this, so it wasn't too big of a deal. Also, this doesn't stay like this. As you've probably noticed on the other guys, this is actually what goes there. This is that curly pine panel. You can kind of see it over there on that one. Sorry about the bit of the mess, but you can see the panel there. Also, you can see my AC there, which I've just turned on because I just got this window in, and man, is it helping. So, but my pointers did an amazing job, my masons. They took this whole wall out, relayed it. I also had to cut up the floor here, which I'm sure you guys saw this hole here. I had to cut this up because I wanted them to get it all the way down and relay this level bit of brick here, so when I put the new floor on, it'll go. Also, because that radiator was sitting here, you can see the pipe coming out right there. That's the pipe, that silver bit. This had actually drooped down. And it's only the pine that was drooping. I've checked all the beams. The beams are fine. But the pipe itself, or the floor itself, had buckled under the weight of the radiator, because if you've ever picked up a solid cast iron radiator, they're really, really, really heavy. So the floor has not taken the abuse super well. So what I'm going to do is rip the floor up here, add some extra bracing, and then, or some extra beams, and then that way it'll take the weight better. Also, these floors don't matter because they're going to get cut up anyways a little bit here and there, just to wire everything. And then as you guys already know, I have the flooring downstairs that's going to go on top of these. So think of this as a plywood subfloor. I know it's pitch pine. I know people like this stuff, but if you've ever tried to sand this stuff and try to make it flat, which I have in the past, it is really difficult. So it doesn't make a great floor, really. You can make them look somewhat approachable, but this house isn't, it's a bit grander than pitch pine floors. So don't buy too much into any of the rooms getting these things refinished, except for the maid's room. It'll get refinished in there. I also found a cool little bit in here. I have some photos, and you can see that right here there was a brick on the outside that's missing, and there's a weird electrical outlet. And so I have that outlet. Here it is. And you see it had a little electrical bits that would go through it. And that's what those are right there. Your old knob and tube system there. And essentially those would come through here, and I don't know what they would have powered. I assume some exterior lights, I don't know. But essentially they had removed that stuff, and bugs and stuff were getting through here, and I found a big old wasp nest in here. Luckily it was not an active one, which was fortunate for me when I started cutting this up. But yeah, it was about the size of a basketball down in there. You can see some of the remnants here. Yeah, so that's fun. But not a huge concern, again. And I will be replacing this floor probably Tuesday. It won't take me very long, but I will be using screws to keep everything down flat. Now I have a really nice lip here, so this won't ever bow back in. Now onto the window itself. We've got it in. It looks good. It is hard to see because of it being so backlit, But here at the very top is a little baby bit shorter, about a 1/4 inch than the other windows. And at the bottom down here, on this part here, it's about a 1/4 inch shorter. Other than that, it's identical to the other windows, but I have to say, this window was a bit of a fight. It's still not all back together, obviously. You know, we're missing this piece on this side, which is where the trim goes to wrap around the wall. I probably won't even put this piece back on until I've got this plastered, or close to getting ready to plaster. So yeah, this one was, it was tricky, guys. It was really tricky, I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't a single part of this window that was straight any longer, but now it's straight. It's weatherproof again. Everything on the outside's been completely rebuilt, wood filled, you know, caulked together. Everything is a-okay. But yeah, hopefully, well, I think there's only maybe one more window in the entire house that's like this one, where it's pretty beat up. Everything else should be pretty cut and dry as far as windows are concerned. But yeah, essentially I had to rebuild this entire frame. And it took some time. It took longer than I thought. And you know, that's okay. You're gonna come up with surprises here and there. But yeah, now that we know it's gonna be better. Also, I did look at this last week actually, and I didn't want to show you guys quite yet, but I do want to show you guys now. I did make a bit of a, let's say, an oopsie. I was trying to strip back one layer of paint at a time on this, and that's what I thought was actually here, was just this, which is just slate, right? But what's actually on here is Eastlake stencils. You can see some of the lines here as well. So I think I'm going to try to use a heat gun on this, because if I can get the pattern off, I can repaint these. This is one thing that makes me a little angry that they painted at all, because why would you just paint it this brown color? Like, that makes zero sense to me when you had this beautiful pattern underneath it. And it becomes quite a conundrum, because I don't know if there's a way to get this off without damaging it. But as far, like, as I've told you guys before, stencils, that sort of thing, painting, that's where I'm pretty good at things. And so I know I can get this back looking perfect again. I just need to know what it looked like fully. So if I can get that entire half done correctly, where I can see the pattern, I could just touch up everything that I'm missing here. So it's a bit of a boo-boo, bit of a mistake on my part, going a little hard with the stripper, but I'll make this right, no worries there. But it's cool to know that there is these Eastlake patterns on this piece. Yeah, it's really incredible. So that'll be something that we'll be doing here soon as well. So this is the other little project I was messing with today. I used some peel away, which is a paste that you know, a stripping paste that you would paste on plaster like this, or wood, although I hear it discolors wood, so I wouldn't try it on it. But essentially you let it sit overnight with a plastic wrap on top of it, like, well, it's not like cling paper, it's like paper on one side and kind of waxy, like wax paper on the other side. And you would cover that stuff up so it doesn't dry right away. But I picked away at this, I peeled away at this, and I actually discovered some really cool colors. This here, I know it's really hard to see, but these actually were kind of shiny gold. These two parts here, along with this strip at the top here. So I have some idea of some of the colors that were on this. None of the color really came off on this, like the paint just kind of went with it. But, you know, it's cool, like these little holes here, you couldn't see these things at all. And I'll show you guys here in a second on the other one, like there was so much detail missing on this piece. And to kind of see how intricate it really is versus it being covered in paint is pretty remarkable. So, you know, this is the one I was trying to strip the other day that I was showing you guys. And especially up in these little parts here, like that's almost flat, but I know that those go back like about a 1/4 of an inch. There's little holes here, and they're just not there anymore because they've been so covered with paint. Same thing with these, you know, these little, pyramids. You know, they're like rounded over. All the detail, I mean, obviously this is looking very similar, and I did that with the Coopers, but the peel away makes the process a lot easier. One thing I did learn, use a toothbrush. Don't use anything that's got like a rougher edge to it. Don't use any of the brass brushes or anything like that. You want to be very careful with this stuff because you can indent the plaster really easily. But, you know, just be careful, take your time with it. But yeah, I think we're gonna have some really, really beautiful plaster in here as the days go on and as I get more time to mess around with some of the more beautiful details. So me and Kim here, that's gonna be all from us this week. It's been a very, very hot week. But I've had Kim a lot this week, which has been amazing. It's been awesome to have her more often up here. I didn't pick up any
shifts this weekend, so.
She was able to come help me out a lot, and that helps a lot, you know, morale and everything wise and time wise and everything. So, and I get to show her more of some of the skills I've been picking up, and that's just helpful, I think, for both of us. So it's been really an eventful week. Things have probably moved a bit slower than we'd both like them to. But things have still moved on, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But yeah, it's...
we are sweaty.
I think it got up to 107 degrees heat index here yesterday, and we've both been dripping the entire time. So we did some really, really cool things this week, guys, that we're not going to let you in on quite yet, but I think you guys will really enjoy them. You guys will see those later in July. But yeah, guys, there's some really fun things coming up, so... yeah, stay tuned, and we'll see you guys then. Thank you guys again so much. Bye-bye.